as you begin to understand where you are and what is happening around you.
So on my left, I see a lady in brown.
Mm-hmm.
Brown hair, brown jacket, brown skirt, brown, maybe some like a blue blouse, but she looks like she's on a prairie or something.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a man behind her. So first thing I see.
Very good. And as you tune into your body, what do you look like?
So I'm brown.
Mm-hmm.
I got knobby fingers, long knobby fingers. You look at my legs, my feet, because I'm not trying to see how many toes I have.
Are you wearing anything on your feet?
No, I don't think I'm wearing any clothes. There's something on my lip. Let's see, I'll go back to my feet. Maybe I'm wearing shoes. Let me see. I can't see my toes, but I know I'm brown.
Do you feel male or female in this body?
Male.
Male.
My legs are tightening up. My lip is, I feel like something's on it.
Mm-hmm. As you tune into the energy of your lip, what do you imagine is there?
Let me go back to, it was like something was touching my lip, or like something was in my lip. Not tobacco or anything like that, but like kind of where tobacco would be.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like it was something in there. So I know when I was trying to tap into me, I was feeling like I was tapping into like a non-human version of me.
Mm-hmm.
So within that tobacco and would make sense to who she was. Like I would picture her chewing tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
And my legs, behind my legs felt real tight. Like there was, like something was on it. Like if you put tape on the back of your legs,
Mm-hmm.
it would feel like it felt like that. So I'm not sure if I'm trying to see him or seeing something else again as well. But feeling the tape, I look down and I feel the tape on the back of my calf.
How old do you feel in this body?
So I feel like a lot of things are merging right now.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to pick on one.
Okay.
And I'm asking to go to the galactic, because when I see me, I see this brown being, feel like it's bald head and knobby fingers, and I'm wanting to see him, and he's on a ship, and I want to see, but it's almost like he's like, not yet, not yet. Like he's trying to bring me to the lady, because that's why I'm feeling the sensations, to bring me to her.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go to her, because that's probably why I feel like I'm chewing tobacco.
What does she look like?
Brown hair, like a brown coat. Now my legs are tingling. brown coat. She's on my left. And she's on a horse. First, I'm like, she doesn't see her on a horse, but now I can see her on a horse. And it's like a leather coat, brown, like a blue shirt, like a not a dark blue, but like a blue, not light blue at all. And she's got a brown skirt on, and she's wearing boots. That's probably why my legs were. I couldn't see my feet. I see her boots. She's got brown boots. It's brown hair, so she's wearing a lot of brown too, which is funny. And she's holding the reins. I don't see her face, but I see her holding the reins. And yeah, that's all I see now. And I see the guy behind her who's on a horse, brown hair. I'm trying to tap into him and see what do I need to know. It's more, but once I see her, she turned the horse around. She slowed down, and she's kind of like halted the horse. That's all I see for her right now.
So as you tune into your body, do you feel separate of this lady, or do you feel that you are this lady?
I feel separate from this lady, but like I just tuned into my body. Like I was like when you said that, I was like, where's my body? My body's here, and she's there. And then, but she's still there. I feel like though, I could have been her. I feel like I could have been her. You see her face. You can see her face. What do you want me to know? Where are you going? There's something in front of her face, looking at her. It's dark, and I've got chills in my legs again. It's like a black. Gosh, you know how like I feel like there's a movie that looks like this. It's like I can't even think of a movie. But it's like a being that has like a long neck with a head on top, and it just kind of like goes right into her face. And it's kind of like in her face. And I don't think she sees it though, but I see it. And
Do you feel like it's something that's attached to her?
it's looking at her, but it's in her face. And I want to take it, and I want to move it. I want to take, but I don't think she sees it. Like I think that's what stopped her. So I'm gonna take this net, and I'm going to capture it. And it goes back, and it's actually like on a bigger body, like a whole bunch of these things. And I'm going to take it, and I'm going to, okay. So that's part of my mission. And so I'm taking a net, a golden net of light and love, and I'm going to completely surround it. It's quite big. And I got chills. And then I'm going to take it, I'm going to lift it. I'm going to make me much larger than it. Not her, but me. And I'm going to lift it up like a bag of potatoes. And I'm going to transmute it into light and love. So I'll make sure I watch it though, go in. I was trying to say it's bigger than me. I can just make I can just make me bigger. And I'm going to put a hole in the fabric where I'm going to send it. And I sent it. Closed it, transmute into light and love. And then close the fabric. And it's there. And then in this position, I can see where it's on the other side of the fabric. And I can see that it's still in the golden net of light and love. And I can see the help coming in to help it and take care of it. And wow, that's pretty cool. So yeah, so but it's like going away now. Like it's like not my business. Now I'm back in. And then
So they take it from there.
they take it from there, yeah. And then, so now I see her again, and she starts moving forward. So it's almost like something told her to stop. Like your gut tells you to stop because something was there, and so she did. And now she's going forward, and she's on this dirt landscape, high desert maybe. It doesn't feel like high desert, just dirt, hard ground, dusty. And she's just going, and she's just going. So now I feel like I removed something from her path to help her move forward. Oh, that was cool.
And so you mentioned as you were doing this work that this is part of your mission. Is this connecting you? Did you do this work in another lifetime?
Come back, but she made me cry. Like I felt like she felt relief, crying like a relief. Like finally, I was gone, so she moved forward. And I feel like that's symbolic of me.
Of what you're doing in this lifetime.
Yeah.
So if we were to tap into where these healing abilities came from, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Okay.
Where did you learn how to do this work?
Okay, I'm going to tap into me and see what I can see. Oh. Yeah. I'm watching somebody else. I don't see me, but I see them. Who are you? I don't know if I'm trying to merge again things and I'm trying to separate them out. But it's a lady who is wearing gray. And she's over a cauldron in the woods. No, she's in a building. Like I see woods in a building, but it's like I can't tell where she's at. And she's dark, like a gray hair, and she's doing stuff in the woods. No, I say woods, with the buildings behind her. And she's doing stuff, and I think I was interested in what was this relevant for me? How did I get these healing abilities? Where are they coming from? I think they're trying to show me like how I invited it into me and started the process of learning that my left hand's feeling funny. But I want to see her. So like I'm a guy and I'm in the woods and I was interested in this like what she was doing. I feel like I was asked, who are you? Are you my mother-in-law? I feel like she's my mother-in-law. And I don't know why I would want to know that. But I just wanted to know what she was doing. And she's showing me herself like an older lady, witch, gray. I'm wearing white, tunic, sandals. And I feel like we're different, but I'm interested. So I see that. So like I invited it into my life.
How do you do that?
I think because, when I was there, I was curious and I wanted to know. And that was an invitation for me to open it and to send it in, because I had to ask. And then when I asked, like, it was like I was intrigued. What are you doing? What is this? Why are you here? And that invitation is what invited it into me, into knowing that there was something more, and that started it. So, like, if this is who I am, and so this is who I am, I invited me into me at that moment, and they said not quite. Why not quite? Let me go back in, because oh, um, so I'm there, and that started the path, and that intrigued me, and then I went and saw things in a shop, and that intrigued me, and then I started to use them. Now, I want to know, too, if I did this, and where does it come from?
Where is the point of origination for these healing abilities?
Yeah, so that would be the brown guy. That's who he is. So he's showing me now him, and I feel this really, it's in my heart. It's like it's vibrating in my heart, and I just feel this awakening in my heart. Like I don't want to say pressure, like just an awareness in my heart. And so how are you, yeah, so I see him and I see the other guy, but I see them as separate, but I know they're the same. And he's on a ship, and he's communicating with me, giving me clues, and he's giving me things to look at to trigger my memory. And so the lady was placed there to trigger my memory. And then the shop was there to trigger. So I'm getting them from him. And I'm feeling them in my body. And I'm feeling them in me.
So they're bringing those energies into you now?
Yeah.
Okay. So just allow yourself to absorb all of that. We want to make sure to bring in more of those healing abilities into this life. And as you look around this ship, what does it look like?
It's got like whitish floors, but like light colored, I should say, but not like gray white. There's a big window with a bar in front of it. And I see myself holding onto the bar, looking out the window, and I can see things out the window. That's like at I don't know if it's the nose, or it feels like it's more towards the side, though, of the ship. And I'm just walking around. I don't know how many fingers I have, but I don't think I have 5. They're like balls on top of the fingers and the toes, and I see the toes now. I wouldn't say they're webbed, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're webbed.
What are you wearing on your body as you tune in?
I see my arms, and I see my head, and I see my legs, bottom of my legs, but I don't see anything else. Otherwise, I look up, I see my thighs, but I don't see any clothes. So I don't think I wear clothes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see any clothes. I just see brown. And I got a square head, so I'm kind of looking at me now. And yeah, so.
What color is your skin?
It's brown.
It's brown.
It's brown, like kind of like the leather on her jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you feel male?
Yeah, but yeah, only because of the features don't seem male or female.
Okay. Could be either. Both.
Yeah, they just everything seems neutral.
Mm-hmm.
So very neutral, but no hair, no. And I'm trying to look at the eyes more, if they're slanted, but not like sideways, more like if it was more like if I'm like wearing mascara
Mm-hmm.
or eyeliner, but it's like that kind of slanted, but not. Yeah, so I think I don't know if they're, I think I'm both, because
Mm-hmm.
they're showing me feminine and male traits on me to show me that I'm, but I don't feel like that's right for some reason. So I don't, please give me more guidance on that. It's just who I am as a being.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm getting. But I'm holding on to the bar now, looking at Earth from the ship kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
if you could tune into the energy of where you come from, what comes to mind?
where I come from.
Where do you call home?
Saying home is there on the ship. I'm trying to see if I can rewind it. Maybe I was born on the ship. Um, there's a portal. Okay, it's taking me to a portal.
Mm-hmm.
Rewinding it back through this portal. And then so I was on the ship going through this portal. And there's a lot of creatures, like beings, I should say. Like creatures. What do you mean?
Do they look similar to you or
No,
different?
different. So a lot of them that others that have kind of come to me in past like inquiries are kind of showing up. Kind of like we've been trying to talk to you. I almost wanted to say the extended warranty check. That's them. That's not me. That's not me. That's funny. Like we've been trying to reach you, but it kind of felt like that.
They've been trying to communicate with you here on Earth.
Yeah. And so there's a lot. There's beings, and they're almost like I'm there now, and how am I there now? There's one being that's named Alfred. He's come to me before, and he's standing to my left, and he's little.
So he looks different than you do?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an Arcturian. Now those who have come to me before, like he came to me one time, and he's standing to my right, and he's looking at Earth with me.
When did they come to you?
They came last year. I tried to channel, and they came to me. I tried to channel, and the Arcturian came to me, and he said, he's like, "Do you see me? Do you see me?" And I was like, "Yes. What are you?" And he told me he was Arcturian. He told me I was greatly loved, but I backed out a little bit of that. I kind of stopped it. But I see that I'm there with him now, and it's kind of like we're three of us are watching the Earth. And I don't see, now I'm like looking at them from behind, and they're watching the Earth.
What is the reason for watching the Earth? What are they looking at?
Let's see. love the earth. They admire and adore the earth. They they love the earth. I almost wanted to say they helped create things,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know what they created.
Did they help to seed the planet?
I'm not getting that they seeded the planet. I'm going to try to say some things and see if it resonates.
Mm-hmm.
They're watching over the planet. They're helping the planet. They love, adore the planet. They don't, it's not their home, but they respect the home as one of them. Like Earth is one of them. Earth is another being like them, and they want to help Earth as they want to help each other. So they're here to help Earth. And I don't know why, I mean, Sophia's coming up, but I don't know what that means and how that, if that's the being.
Mm-hmm. Let's tune into that. Let's find out what they're referring to when they refer to Sophia.
Yeah. Like she's a ball and she's a being. And we can go inside of her, but she's a being in self, and she's personality and wants and joys, and she looks like a ball, a big ball, but looks like a ball to them.
So would Sophia be the personality of the earth?
Yeah.
Like the actual being part of the earth?
Yeah.
With the consciousness?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Sophia. And then that's Sophia. What you want to help? You would want to help Sophia.
Mm-hmm.
We have to help Sophia.
And so in what ways are the Arcturians working with the earth at this time to assist her?
I have the one next to me, and he's a friend, and so I don't. Oh, okay. Another group popped up of Arcturians. Now, I have been exploring in the past year, trying to learn as much as I can. So these beings are coming to me, but I've already seen them, but now they're kind of communicating more with me where I let them, I guess. Mm-hmm. So these Arcturians are working on the grids, working. Well, let me make sure. Okay, so Arcturian came to me when I was sitting in a portal that I found on my property. And I was sitting on the portal because I was like, of course it's a portal, we're human, we have to sit on it, right? And he came, I closed my eyes and meditate, and this being came to me. His head was bigger than his body, wider, I should say, wider than his shoulders. Mm-hmm. He was wearing this white gown with a collar thing, and his hands were folded. And I could see the other similar ones behind him, but he was in front, and he was escorting me, what are you doing? And I thought I did something wrong, and that's why I stopped meditating, channeling, I should say, because I couldn't hear what he said. And I felt like I did something wrong. I tried to pull him up again, and I couldn't hear him. So he's part of the process of I think he's Arcturian too. But he's, instead of blue, like my friend, he's green. Mm-hmm. And it looks like it's a council, and they're watching over the earth and the grid and things. But the portal that I found on my property was part of this new portal, new grid that's part of establishment. But I don't know enough to answer, is what I'm being told.
So do you feel like these Arcturians are assisting you in doing grid work on the planet at this time?
Not the ones with the bigger head, just to kind of say, like the one that was my friend that came to me, I can hear him if I talk. I've heard him twice, but I don't call him in. And he's saying, call me in. The other one, I don't hear them. I don't think they're working with me. I think they were like wanting to make sure I didn't get in their way. Oh, that's okay. Like
you stumbled upon something you weren't supposed to at that time.
That's the impression I'm getting, and I'm not getting a different one at this time either. Like they're there. They don't look stern on me now. They look like they're smiling. Like the one is smiling. Like I will say but he's pleased. And I just got chills because he's pleased with the work I'm doing. I'm learning more discretion. I'm learning, intention and things like that. I'm learning, but I'm not understanding like more of what I am learning though. But he seems more pleased. He seems, he's like, maybe I was more rogue. Like us three are like conquering the world, and they're like, but what are you doing?
What do they want to share with you today about the healing work that you've been doing? What do you need to know? So
me, the brown guy, I see him, he's not wearing any clothes. I'm standing behind him, and the Alfred's wearing clothes, but no one else is. Well, in my three. And then it's just who I am. That's the healing work is who I am. That's like we have abilities that's who we are. And we're just trying to bring those abilities into Earth. We're trying to help Earth and trying to heal Earth because, well, they said Sophia. And you look at the Earth, I see Sophia. And then, but I don't feel sad. It's like Sophia doesn't feel sad, but I feel sad. And like that is motivating me to help Sophia. Like Sophia's not sad. I don't want to put words in Sophia's mouth. But yeah, I just like that's my motivation is I feel sad and I want to help and I don't. Yeah, like
Let's see if you can connect energetically with Sophia and see if she can bring a message through today.
Okay.
In what way does she need our assistance at this time?
She just made herself really big. And we're going into Sophia, and she's just like this energy of blue and green, and we're just in this energy, and so we're just in energy, and we're just in her love and welcoming. It's like we just kind of got enveloped into her love, into her beingness. So how are we helping you? Why am I sad if I just feel her love? I just feel like welcomed and loved and like we're all there and she's a healer. She's healing us. And
in what way is she healing us?
Like I was sad and now I'm not. I feel welcomed. I feel loved. I'm inside her and she's just this love, this color is this love. How does that relate to me being outside of her and now inside of her? She loves us. And how are we helping her? How are we, if she's love, and she's more love than we are.
Mm.
Wow. She is love. She's like, I'm in her, and I feel stronger and more powerful being inside her than I was outside of her. But if we're helping her, how are we we're growing? Or how are we growing her? So I go in and I'm in, and how are we're expanding her. So we're expanding her. And then, and expanding her, we're expanding us. And then expanding us expands her.
Mm.
And then I'm back out now. I'm back on the ship. Because she was just consciousness. She was just a ball of consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm back on the ship. And now I'm looking down back at her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the process. It's almost like she's God, but a God within a God,
Mm-hmm.
like a little God. Yeah,
Tell me more about that.
like she's, when you tap into her energy, she's just love, and
Mm-hmm.
she's just consciousness and love and joy, and she's just like a ball of love, a ball of God.
So just allow yourself for just a moment to bring that energy in and integrate it fully within your system. Just allowing all of that joyful, loving, and healing energy to flow throughout your entire body, into every cell, just cleansing out any of those low frequency energies and discordant energies that you may be holding into the body. As Sophia is a healer herself, just allow her to bring that healing energy in for you today. And let me know how that feels.
Feels like you're home. It feels like you're at your mom's house.
Mm.
And then, but then they said that's the ego, that wouldn't make everyone feel at home. So I was like, it took me out a second. Like, um, but yeah, like it just felt like at peace.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm trying to see the colors actually in me, the blue and the green,
Mm-hmm.
of of Sophia, She likes Sophia.
So, what is the best way for all humans to begin to connect with Sophia and to bring in that healing energy?
I just get like that. Like, so if you put, I'm trying to think what I just did. If you put the power, the like you say God, like, yeah, like God, Sophia, and you put her inside the essence of who she is inside you, and then she just radiates out through you, and you can see the colors go through you, and then you feel that consciousness within you. You don't see your bones, you just see her inside you, and then you feel her around you.
Mm-hmm.
But I just, yeah, so like, let me see, um, if she can heal my head more.
Mm-hmm. Do you still feel pressure in your head?
Not as much, but I can see where she's not going all the way up my
Mm-hmm.
head. So I want her to go all the way up and go all the way through my head and connect. So um, I'm feeling like there's like, so I'm trying to make her go up through my head, and she does.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's wants to do, wants to help. If that's the right word. So she will, she loves us, she cares for us, she wants us to be happy. And then, so then I'm trying to think, like, how do we, so she's just inside me.
Mm-hmm.
She's just inside me. And I'm trying to see if there's a way to, like, connect to her, like, okay, I'm standing on the earth. And it's, can pull up the cord? Do I pull down the cord? Like, what, how, I'm on the earth. On me, and just picture the blue and the green inside you. Picture
Mm-hmm.
she's just inside me. Like, I'm not I'm sure there's cords. I see cord. Like, I think I can pull things. Like, but intention to connect with her, I'm not seeing a cord because we're inside her.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're inside her, then all we have to do is feel that inside us.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the message I'm getting with that.
Okay. Beautiful.
Yes. Yeah. So,
So how does your head feel? Is she able to
yeah.
release any of that energy?
Yeah. It went up. I could see it go up past my head, and yeah. And then I can see it go down below my feet.
So as
Yeah.
she's releasing that energy, just allow that beautiful blue and green energy to completely fill up and expand throughout your head. Just anywhere that you felt those low frequency energies. And just bring healing to that area of the body.
Yeah. I'm healing my eye. And my legs.
So in your last session, you had some beings that were around you that were trying to place blocks around you. Have those beings retreated now completely?
I'm trying to figure out if I should ask while I'm standing on the earth, or if I should go back to the brown being and
Mm-hmm.
ask.
Okay.
And from the brown being's perspective, they're gone.
Okay.
They're still there, but they're not affecting me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And what was their reason? What was their purpose? Why were they there?
I see them, and I'm trying to see like kind of. So like if I'm trying to put it into words. So I am seeing me on the ship, and I can see them, and they're tiny, and are they still in the earth, or are they outside the earth? Tell me more. How does that work? How did they stop? or try to stop me. How did they do it? How did they do it? Why did they do it? They're showing me, like, you know how, like, I'm trying to use an example of like a home,
Mm-hmm.
and if you have a home and I'm seeing the size of a mouse, right? Not like a bug. And if there's a mouse in the home and you don't do anything about it, then the mouse will just live in the home with you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remove the mouse, if you put him in the yard, the mouse can just come back in if he finds a way back in. So they were like mice in a home, and they were using me as a home. And because I didn't remove them, they could. And I could see them from above, but I didn't understand it on Earth, what they were doing. So and from the being, what do you want me to know? I feel like, I'll move my legs.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're trying to tell me something. Like maybe move your legs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because they were distracting me from what I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see the mice running around this home, and that's what I looked at them as, mice,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. And they were just mice, but they're telling me, like I'm thinking of a home. I'm seeing a home in these mice, but let's say you are in a building and there is this container, this large container, and the mice get in the container and they're running around the container. I'm trying to ask them to show me something different.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're saying it. So the mice get in this large, say this container is as big as a room, and within this other room. And they're in this container and they're running around, and there's like tubes and tunnel, but it's all clear. So like they can see the mice running around in this container, and everything is like glass or plexiglass, and they're seeing all these things running around, and no one does anything, so they're just running around in this container. And then if they have more, like babies, there's more than one, and then just keep running around in this container until you take them out. They're just going to run around in this container.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like I'm getting like it's a virus that is contained but is running around.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm getting. I feel like if I want to use an example of a computer, but I don't know if let me go back in, because I feel like I'm not reaching out, reaching for words.
Mm-hmm.
So like if I think they're trying to say, like, there's a space and these things are just running around in the space, and they're just running around in the space. But if you're outside the building, you can't get them out of the space. You have to be in the space to get them out of the space. And that's why they're showing me like a building inside of a building, like inside of a building. So like they can see the things running around, but they can't just get them out. But so they're minimizing who they are. They're minimizing, it's almost like a virus. And they can see the virus, they know what the virus is, but they can't get the virus out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where they were bugging me and they were bothering me in the, let's say on the container. And they were bothering me but I'll say I'm in the container. I'm not the container. I'm in the container, and they have free reign around me and in me and around me. And that's how they were bothering me. I'm trying to use them seeing this visual, but that will then tell me something. Tell me something different. Tell me.
So you weren't able to really see or connect with them until we did the session, and you were sort of in that space with them.
Yeah. So it's like when I said I was in the container, they made it seem like I wasn't saying the right word.
Mm.
So, but that's how, maybe they were just trying to show me an example. I'm like, well, how they were messing with me then, if they could, like, that's the part they're not showing me. How did they, why would they, so they're saying, okay, so let's say it's a game, and we're in the game, and they just showed me I'm in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Everything changed. And I'm in the game. And so while I'm in the game, so give me the words that you would like me to use. I'm in the game. And as I'm in the game, I'm living by the game's rules. And the game's rules are already set. And while I'm in the game and playing in the rules, then I'm going by the game's rules. So those were part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they're just playing their role.
Yeah.
In this game that we're all playing.
So, okay. So I think what they're doing is they're trying to tell me something, and I'm not saying it, and so they're like,
"Try it this way."
Yeah. So it's like, so basically they're saying, we've given you the visions, even if you've seen it before, it's the vision for a reason. We've given you the vision. Just say what you see, because that's what we have shown you.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, let's say you're playing. Okay. So let's say you're playing a video game, and someone says, or let's say somebody else is playing the video game. They corrected me. And they say, do you want to play?
Mm-hmm.
And you say, yeah. So you said yes. Now I'm getting chills because I'm like, finally you saying what we say. So you sit down and you grab the controller and you start playing. So you started playing. But you're not in the game. But you're not the game, but you're playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're at the controller. Now the game is set. The game's already made. But you get to pick your character. You get to pick. You get to pick your level, your character. You get to pick. And you're connected to the game, but you are not the game. And you chose to play. And when you play, you become, it feels real because you're in the game. And you're seeing yourself in the game. And then there's things in the game that you don't realize so you see yourself playing the game, but then when you're in the game, you become a different reality. So they're showing me, okay, I'm showing myself watching the game, and then I'm like in the game. So when you become in the game, that's where like, poof, you're in the game. And now as you're in the game, you don't see yourself with a controller when you're in the game. But what they're trying to show me too is when you start the game, you inside the game, even though you picked everything to come into the game, now you're in the game, you have control in the game. But since the game is already created, you're within the rules of the game. But then if you, let's say, let me back out of the game. Like I'm in the game and I'm looking around and I'm in the game and it's real. It feels real. I'm in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I back out and I see myself sitting with a controller, I see myself like, okay, like I can move around in this section of the game. I have free will
Mm-hmm.
and I'm moving around, but the game was already created and I have the free will within the game. So I don't, so, why would you tell me that I can create in the game? But then the game's already created, but okay. So you can create in the game, but I think that I'm saying it the wrong spot. They're like, we already said that, it's the wrong spot. So I'm like, okay. So now you're in the game. Once you are in this room, you can choose to go into a different room. And you can choose to go into this room and that room. And I'm like, but why are you telling me this? Okay, so now, but you have free will, but you're playing the game and you're just at the rules of the game. And these things were like a virus. I can't even say they're part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But if I wanted to say virus, but they're beings that have come into the game too. So they're beings that have come into the game too. So they're not a virus, but there can be viruses in the game.
So these other beings that come in and they sort of mess with us energetically, are they sort of acting like a virus in this game that we're playing?
Yeah.
Like an infection they're not meant to be here?
Well, they think it's fun. Like, so yeah, they think it's fun. They like, the one who's looked at me like, what in the heck? Why wouldn't you want to do this? Like, so if I'm trying to like, okay, I'm looking back as me holding the controller and this game is open for everyone who, they're saying not everyone, but so the game is open.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in the game, you have free will to do as you choose within the game, but like they can just mess with me because that's their free will to mess with me.
Mm.
And so, yeah. But let me go back into I was focusing on the fifth being and I don't know if that I can't say that connected to them, but I lost my train of thought and now I'm trying to go back into my controller. So
when you realize that you've got these beings that are affecting you in some way, and we stood in your sovereignty in your last session and said no more. So is that all it takes to stop this interference coming in from these more negative beings?
Okay, so so I missed something and they wanted me to stop and go back. Yes, that's all. So it has to do with vibration, they're telling me. So the vibration of the game allowed these beings to do these things because you match the vibration of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And these vibrations were allowed to. So now that's how they were allowed to do what they were doing because you matched them. And when you stand up and you're in who you are,
Mm-hmm.
and doing that made me take a deep breath.
Mm.
And you stand up in who you are, they no longer match you. So therefore, yes. So the vibration's changing and these beings aren't invited anymore to the game. So the more you stand up, the more the game changes. The more you have control of the game. So I'm just telling them just to say, I feel like it's like I'm using my words and I want them to use their words. And they're just, so I'm trying to tell them to speak in their words. So, and then I picture the brown being because he's me. And it's funny because it's like he's the one with the controller, kind of. Okay. So I'm trying to say, okay, what do you want me to, as soon as I pictured him, I lost focus of the game, but I picture me playing on the game. So I picture me with the controller, but I picture him. So it's multiple layers of this game. And then, so as I'm holding the controller and I see me, a little me inside of, so, okay, so there's different layers. So it's kind of like, I'm getting like there's me and then there's higher me and then there's different me. And it's like going up and all part of it. And so in the game, all I have to do is stand up, and then that's the controller me standing up. And then that changes the game because I have the same abilities as the controller me. And that puts me, controller me, in the game. So I can that healing ability. Okay. So the healing abilities come from me, allowing me to be the healer inside the game. So I'm exhibiting me inside of me. Me inside the game. And that's that's where my healing abilities are coming from, is I'm allowing them, I'm seeing them, I'm allowing them in. And when I allow them in, then I can stand up, and then those things can no longer affect you because you're standing up and you are who you are supposed to be, which is higher than who you're being when you first go into the game.
When we first started
Yeah.
this process. That makes sense. Yeah. Very good. So as you're this brown being, is this who you would consider to be your galactic star family? Is this where you came from? Is this the original being that you were? Is this brown being?
Either it's, yeah. I feel it's me. And I feel it is me.
Do you get a point of origin with this being?
Well, I want to say Antares.
Okay.
Because from last time it was Antares, and I want to say Antares. But then, like, who are the other two? Okay, this is funny. this is who are the other two, me too. So
there are other aspects of you?
Yeah, or are we friends? But I'm getting that we're friends, but then it's like, so now I'm asking, I'm holding the controller. It's funny how I can see myself in different levels now. As the controller, I'm asking the being, the brown being, are you who I am now? Or are you who I have been in the past?
Great question.
Yeah, because I'm seeing the other two standing next to him, and he's that's who I am now. But there are three of us there, so I feel like it's a team effort. So there's something.
Is it a group consciousness, or is it different from that?
Let me see. Show me how the connect. So if I'm holding the remote control, and that's my connection, my cord, that's funny, to the game. And that's funny. It'll throw me out though. So how am I connected to you? Because you're watching the game and you're telepathically interacting with the controller, and the controller is connected physically to the game. So then how is that conscious? Okay, so how is this consciousness working? Well, they're bringing me back to the guy holding, like me, well, it's a guy, but like, it's not like, it's just a person, but I'm relating to this person. And this person who is playing the game, let's say you have a group of people watching the game, and then your friend says, do this, and he says, no, go this way, go that way, and you're saying, go this way. And so they're all part of the game, but you still decide with the controller what to do. And at the level that they're at, it's the same. Like, so the being is, I'm the brown being, and I'm seeing a separation between the other two, but we're all putting our own input into the person who's holding the controller and who's playing the game.
Okay. So they're all influencing you in this game that you're playing. That sounds confusing.
It does. And then I'm thinking, like, is this my mind on a movie screen? Like, what is going on? Okay. But yeah, I'm seeing three different levels that I'm aware of right now as who I am. I'm in the game, I'm holding the remote control, and I am on the ship.
Very good.
Yeah.
So as you're on the ship, is there anything else that you need to know about that aspect of you? Anything else that you need to know to help you in this game we're playing?
Trying to see if I can feel it. I can feel a download. Because he's very content. He's very kind of like he keeps talking about the game. He's not attached to the game because he's not. It's like you playing a game, and then if you don't win, it's not the end. But that's not. It's not foretelling anything. He says but if you're playing a character, you pick a character and you're playing a game, and you're watching you play, and then you go, okay, game over. You play again. So you just keep playing and you just keep playing the game. So therefore you just keep going back in, and you just keep going back in and playing the game. So he's pleased watching the game, and like he's so he wanted me to share that to you first, like as why he's pleased, because, and then that's why now I'm seeing Sophia again. So now he's showing me Sophia. So Sophia is, I want to say the game, but then like that's not not the right connection, but she's the housing of the game. And so, yeah, so he's pleased, he's watching the game, he's connected, he's pleased, and he's happy. Like, it's just but what would you like us to know? Like, it's just more like when your child is playing a game, and you say, get off the game, it's time to go. You go. You don't go, oh, well, you go, you leave the game. So there's a sense of non-attachment to the game. And I think that's what he's trying to show me, as in like, he's expressing his healing ability. He's expressing who he is. Because Alfred, how I know about Alfred's saying, show him how you know about me. Okay, so I was trying to channel, and Alfred came up while I was in meditation. Alfred's just like literally encompassing me right now, like, oh, thank you. And he's little, like compared to me. So like, let's say he's like 2 feet tall. And he's got like a robe on, so like, and he's plump, not chubby, but like, you know what I mean? He's not, I don't know, I mean, I know Yoda, but I don't enough to like compare it accurately.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a little guy, and he's full figured, but not round.
Mm-hmm.
And his coat, he's got his coat on, and he's got a little brown belt. And he came to me in October of last year, and he came to me for help. And he said, "Help, help." And I was like, "What do you want me to do?" And he
Mm-hmm.
said his ship was stuck in this black goo. And I said, "So you want me to get the ship out of the goo?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Get the ship out of the goo." And I said, "Why would I be getting the ship out of the goo? You're an alien being. You have a ship. I don't even have a ship. How would I get the ship out of the goo? Like, why would I be getting..." So they're telling me because I was going through all these things that they started to doubt me.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like, "Get the ship out of..." Alfred saying, "Get the ship out of the goo, get the ship out of the goo." So
Mm-hmm.
I went in and I took the ship out of the goo and released it so he could, and then he went back on the ship and he flew away. And then I cleared the density I cleared it. And I was really confused why I would do that. Why would I do that? How is that? Like, why would I need to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Why would they come to me to do that? Like, they have a ship. Like, they can go through space. Why would I be clearing a spaceship out of goo in meditation?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I didn't understand that. And he wanted me to go into it. I'm like, "Tell me now the ending of the story." And he's like, "Okay, so like, hold on. Let me go make sure I'm tapping back into him. Because now I feel silly telling my story. You're the first person I told the story." Because I was like, I even was like telling people, "Do you know who Alfred is? Can you tell me who Alfred is?" Because I was like, "I freed the ship from goo. Like, what
It
does this
sounds
mean?"
like Alfred was trying to help you tap into your healing
Yeah.
abilities.
Yeah. So like, and so
He was
that's
giving
part
you a
of,
challenge to
yeah.
overcome. Yeah.
So I think, and I'm, yes. So like, he's giving me, so in the game, I'm using the abilities that I have outside the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that gave me an opportunity. So we need to bring that abilities in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And because the game is living and the rules are set, we need to bring those abilities in. And so like, we have to invite them in,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to give ourselves, like, if you see something and you question it, it's an invitation.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see the man in the woods and there's a lady, and I'm like, "What is that?" And then I was an invitation to let those abilities come in. It created a pathway. Like, I'm seeing this cord that's going all the way down through this, and coming down, and then it opens that flow in. So we're giving ourselves challenges, experiences to let our healing abilities come in
Mm-hmm.
and let who we are. But this is who we are outside of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we are giving the opportunity to be that inside the game.
So we all have these greater aspects of ourselves that are living outside of the game.
Yeah.
And inside the game, we're learning how to tap back into those aspects so we can pull in these greater abilities.
Yeah. Because we're supposed to have them in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who we're supposed to be in the game and experiencing ourselves.
Were we always supposed to have those abilities?
Yeah.
In this game? And what happened that took those abilities back offline?
So I'm asking for new visuals because they're like, "We've already shown you these." And I'm like, "I get it, but I want to make sure it's you're telling me this, not my mind saying, here's a visual."
Mm-hmm.
So in the game, we came in the game. And while we're in the game, something happened where we got lowered.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got lowered, we now had to start over and work our way back. So we came in the game the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got lowered,
Mm-hmm.
and And they're saying it's your choice, but they're saying you chose to stay. So we are now working our way back up through the game.
Mm-hmm.
So by being lowered, and we're lowered, all the other things were there that were keeping us lowered.
Mm-hmm.
But if we rise up, they're saying if we rise up to here, everything else below here will have to go away. And they're trying to survive and live. So you going up would remove them from the game. And so that's where they're trying to, that's why they're messing with you.
Mm-hmm. To keep you lower.
To keep them alive.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to go because they can't survive here. And they're down here. And that's why when you stand up, that's why they go away.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they can't affect you anymore. But literally, I'm seeing like, so like I'm seeing, I'm actually trying to see my hands with my eyes closed. That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, so like you're here, and the more you raise up here, this raises. And so like the whole, like an elevator, the whole thing moves up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if they're not allowed to go past this floor, they get left behind.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what they're showing me is like this piece. I mean, best way to explain is an elevator, but it's like it's more sideways than going up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the whole thing is moving up. And so they're being left behind. They're down here.
So as we're working to raise the vibration of the planets, from your perspective, where are we on this journey?
My heart said we're doing good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it came from. He's pleased. I look at him and he's pleased. But it's, gosh, he's pleased. But then it's almost like that devil's advocate is the wrong way to say it, but it's almost like, but we're going to play again anyway. Like we're going to play again anyway. It's a game. So, but I don't think that's the right words to say. Like, I feel like even saying devil's advocate, like it's like they knew the download wasn't the right way going to be expressed.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're winning the game. We care. We're winning the game.
Mm-hmm.
We want the game to win. We're doing everything we can to win the game. Let me make sure. I'm going to go to my heart. We're winning the game. We're doing what we need to do to win the game. We're raising up the vibration. I just think it's weird why I would give a clause when I was saying it, and that's why it was throwing me off.
Mm-hmm.
As if like it didn't matter, but it does matter. It's not that it doesn't matter. It does matter. This is our choice. This is, like they're choosing this outside the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that intention is being trickled into the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that intention now is being reflected in the game. So it matters, and we're winning the game. Mm-hmm. And we're raising our vibration up. And then Sophia is expanding and getting bigger. So, but was she bigger and then smaller? Because if we were here and now we're here, so no, I'm not getting the impression that Sophia got smaller, but I don't know if that's just not how I am understanding it.
Mm-hmm.
But in us raising our vibration, Sophia is getting bigger. Okay. And then that's expanding. And so, but I feel like they're wanting me to say something more for another piece for me right now. But I'm trying to see if, okay, like, what do you want me to know? Like, I feel it in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And it expands us.
Mm-hmm.
It expanding. We're all expanding is what they're trying to say.
Okay. So we hear about an event or a wave of energy that will possibly come at some point to assist in shifting the frequencies and vibrations of those who are sort of staying stuck in the lower dimensions. Is that still something that could manifest in our reality, or what can you share with us about that?
They were giving me a vision. A lot of this is stuff that they're saying that it's like putting all the pieces together right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they're giving me a vision of the light coming in, and they're giving me all the pieces. And if you pay attention to the pieces, the answers are all there.
Mm-hmm.
So everything you want to know is right there, right there. They're saying right there. And so the light is coming in to help. Now, obviously, let's just say things
Mm-hmm.
in the game were stopping the light.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're trying to get the light to come in. And then the things were stopping the light. And so we had to come in. More of us had to come in to get the light to shine this way, to break up this so the light can come in. So now that we're more in the game to break out the light, to break this, to shine the light, then so we are coming in to put more light inside.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because that light now is able to get in more and more and more, it's going to continue to break up the density.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying that so the light's coming, I'm seeing it, and I'm trying to put it into words.
Mm-hmm.
So the light's coming in, and we came in, and that helped break up the density to let more light in. That's how we're winning. And this part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so now that we are expanding, the Arcturians that were messing with the grids, why would I say messing with the grids? They look happy with me now, so they're fine. But the portal that was on my property, that is part of, okay, so like, you know how you just get all this information and you're trying to like take
Mm-hmm.
one piece of it
Mm-hmm.
and put it in order so it
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. Okay, so I helped create the grids.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm familiar with the grids. But in my 3D reality, I'm not aware of what I do and how I help and what I do. So they were afraid that my infant self, not probably the right word, would, like a bull in a china shop, would hurt the china shop without realizing that's your china.
Mm-hmm.
So they were worried that I might do something with my abilities.
Right.
Yeah. So
that you weren't ready for quite yet.
Yeah. So knowing that I can do this, everything you can do outside of here, you can do inside of here.
Mm-hmm.
Within the game, as you allow yourself to learn and grow within the game. So that's why they were kind of like, no, they're not my babysitter. But
they just knew you weren't quite ready to step into those abilities yet.
Yeah, so they were just watching me and making sure, like, because I told someone about the portal and you didn't have the best intentions. So, and I will admit it, that's why they were there, to stop me, not stop me. They didn't say to stop me, but to slow me down, to make sure that I was, so to make sure that I wasn't sharing this information with people who had, and that wanted to stay in the 3D, because the portal opened up on December 22nd, 23rd. And it like 22nd is when it officially opened. And this is the new grid that was birthed, that whole big December 21st thing. The portal actually opened up on the 22nd of December of last
2020, year. Yes.
Of 2020. And then so the grids were all being placed on the earth, and they're connected to these portals. So when I was sitting on the portal, it wasn't open yet. And I knew it wasn't open yet. And when I asked what the vibration of this portal would be, it told me it was 777. And I think I'm allowed to say something now, because it's already done. So it's not like things have tried to stop it and slow it down. But what happened is before if you had a good portal here, everything was trying to mask it.
Mm-hmm.
And now what they've learned, I'm getting all these chills, that they've learned is now they have millions of portals and they don't have enough coverage to stop it. So we came in to break the light and allow the light. They're saying, yeah, that was your original question. They're saying but the light is now coming in. But the reason why I'm bringing up the portals or showing me the portals is because the light, when a baby is born, the light comes down from above and it comes up from the earth, meets in the heart, and then goes poof, and then it forms all of its stuff, right?
Yes.
Whew. So the light coming in, and I'm trying to ask why the 21st, why would we told the 21st, but they're probably saying that was part of the game. So the 22nd, though, is when it came in, and the light came in, or the portals opened up, I should say. So maybe the light came in on the 21st, but when the portals opened up on the 22nd, that's where on the earth plane, our new earth was formed. And our new earth was born on that moment, and everything. And that's kind of like how we won. I think that was my ego saying that, but so that was the birthing of the new earth, and now everything has to fall into place. And they're saying that's why there's so much push, because it's inevitable that they're not going to, the density things aren't going to be around. That's why they're even trying even harder. But I don't know why they just threw that in there. But with this new grid, so now there's millions of these portals all over the Sophia, the earth.
And these portals, are they allowing this light to flow in to the earth to help to shift the frequency?
It's coming from the center of the earth.
Okay. Oh, it's coming in from the earth and out through the portals.
So there's two, so you have earth, Sophia, light, because Sophia is a consciousness, is a light.
Right.
And the light is coming out of her. Because you are a child of Sophia, and you are. I feel like this is my ego saying this, but this is probably my inner knowingness coming through in my words.
Yes.
But you are inseminated by God, and you are a child of earth, and that meeting creates who you are. So like dust on a dust, so like when you pass away, when you leave your body, you will return to dust. You will return back to Sophia. So Sophia is a consciousness that is, I'm getting all these chills, and that is radiating out. So like they're showing me like a energy source inside earth. And that energy source is going up, 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 and is growing, which is actually pushing out all of the density out of the earth, out of the ground. They're saying out of the ground. So when it's coming out of the ground, all of the stuff is coming up, which is what's bugging you more and more. That's what they're saying to me. And then as you grow and you learn to deal with it, and they didn't say deal with it, they said, that's my word. It's funny they're correcting me as I say a word, like that's not my word. Okay. Or that's not their word. But as it's pushing out and you're seeing it, shining light on it, then you're dissolving it and then breaking it up. And then my mission, which I guess already knew, is I will come in and I will collect it and transmute it. And then so that's what part of me is. I'm a grid worker. I'm healing, but Sophia doesn't need to be healed. She needs our help. And I remember
releasing the density. Yes.
They're releasing the density because the light's pushing, it's breaking. It's coming in, it's breaking. And it's all being squished right on us. And we feel the intensity of the squishing. And we feel like it's getting worse, but it's not getting worse. It's getting better. And so we need to hold on. So I'm seeing this squishingness, like if the light's coming up from the earth, the light's coming down, and it's squishing, it's breaking apart, and that's what we are doing, is we're helping to release. And so like I'm seeing it, I have to release it. So I'm taking I'm going to put all colors needed to heal, transmute, turn to light and love. Take on of light and love. I'm just going to take some release of this that I see. So I'm going to just transmute light and love. And then as I send it beyond the fabric, then that's when they come in and take it away. That's self-connection that they just showed me, that full circle of why I was able to see I don't remember what we were doing, but I remember seeing it going in. Oh, the creature above my head, and then seeing that on the other side, and then they take care of it. So it's all part of a system, and we're all working our part. And that's what we're doing with the expansion of the game. So, yeah.
So what we're seeing, because we're seeing a lot of craziness out on the main stage of the game.
Yeah.
We're seeing things play out with this virus and with just a lot of very negative things. Is that all part of this density that's been held within rising to the surface in order for us to see it so that it can be released?
The words I got were path of least resistance. Yes. So, yes. So everything that's coming, it's like they're showing me like they're trying to show me a life situation. I'm trying to show me like on a movie screen, and I'm trying to see what they're trying to show me. So, like they know, like we know you've learned this, Heather. We know you've learned this, so show them what you know. And it's like if but the things I'm being shown right now are from somebody else's life, and I want to find something from my life. So, okay. So that's not embarrassing, but I will share. After my divorce, my mother-in-law, oh, funny how things are starting to come, like, I'm just, yeah. So my mother-in-law wanted my kids. She felt like they were hers. And I felt that she was going to take them, and without a court order legally, because he's the father, he could have just picked up the kids, but I needed, right? So I was worried, like, I'm the mother, I want him to see the kids, but I knew that if he had the kids, I wouldn't see the kids. It would be hard for me to see. That's what I felt in my heart, I should say. So I'm fair. I want everybody to play their fair shot at our experience. And I didn't feel he was, and because of his mother. So I felt that if he came and picked up the kids before there was some sort of court action, that we were in different states, that it would make it harder for me to see the kids. For me, like, he would have custody and I wouldn't be able to see them. So that fear that created this scenario, I was afraid that they were in elementary school, and I was afraid that they wouldn't come home one day because he just came and picked them up at school, and he's legally allowed to. There's no court order. He's the father. They're saying you don't have to tell us much information. But because I was afraid that they wouldn't come home, my son, who was in second grade, first grade, he got beaten up by another kid. And so because he got beaten up, he didn't come home. So I was doing everything to make sure that wouldn't happen, where my ex would pick them up. But the path of least resistance came true. So that was happening because that was the path of least resistance to fulfill something that was going to happen. Like I was expecting or something there, so that might have been the best example. But
so
it was
did your expectations create that experience then?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was like a mutual co-creation, because I'm sure if I had it, the energy was there. They're saying the energy was there, and if I hadn't created or fed into the energy, then the energy would have created something different, maybe more than something I didn't want. So that happens, that created that to happen to fulfill well, prophecy wasn't the right word, but to fulfill an expectation, fulfill an outcome that was going to happen. So that, unfortunately, my son getting beaten up fulfilled that path of least resistance to get to the end result. So that's where I think that's like not 100%, but like an example of how the universe works. So
it's what we're doing when we feed into all of the drama that's happening around us. We're helping to create scenarios for those things to manifest. Whereas if we took our attention off of those things and focused more on the things that we want in our life, we would create those as opposed to more drama and more chaos. And so basically we're the creators of our reality and what we're experiencing because we continue to feed our energy into that, I want to say grid. I don't even know if that's the right thing, but into that matrix or into that, the third dimensional grid system.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes. Like I felt like yes. Like when you started to talk, I felt your download. So like
I felt the download too. I felt like something came in and just took over there, and I'm like, I'm just going to run with it.
So it was, yes, it was almost maybe telepathically. I was like, we knew, like at that moment. But then not the lesson, because they're teaching us, but they're not teaching us. The lesson was that the download happened, the result happened, but then we needed to experience it. And I think that's why we both had that experience at the same time, because what had happened, and now we have to live through it, and we have to experience it. So as we live through it, so I think that was all I was meant to say for
as
that,
it's created, we still have to go through the experience of it.
So it's done, but it just has to be played out.
Okay, that makes sense. So when it comes to, because the big thing has been for a while, this virus, was this virus something that we manifested as part of this game for a certain experience, or is this virus created by those who are trying to keep us in these lower frequencies so that we don't ascend into the higher states of consciousness?
It's the path of least resistance. So instead of something more worse, more drastic happening, it fulfilled both sides or both intentions. So they're showing me, like, trying to like pull me back to that same scenario, and I'm trying to stay within the, like, give me a new scenario. So it's the path of least resistance. So it has to play out, and that was something that was created to stop us. But because it was the path of least resistance, and we at that time say can't already won, or I don't know if we did or didn't, but it was the path that basically ignited others. So I'm trying to say, give me more, something instead of this, trying to give me this. So
is with it helping them to wake up? Is it almost like it's part of our experience, and it can be seen as negative, but it can also be seen as something that's allowing more people to wake up to what's happening around them, to wake up to the game?
Yeah, so what they're telling me is, let's say if something was meant to happen, and that if we created an energy that was meant to happen, that energy has to happen, unless, because we're in the game, we don't know our abilities yet. So if we can't stop it from happening inside the game, then that has to happen. So these things have to happen, but the path of least resistance is making sure it's a benefit for everybody as part of the game. But they're saying it's almost like I'm missing a piece. So like, okay, so like, then tell me the piece.
Yeah, it doesn't seem quite like a benefit, but you can you can see it as that if you stretch a little bit.
Well, I think they're saying that if it could, okay, hold on. It's, I almost, give me the words. So even though it's not a benefit, like as our human perspective in the game, it's not, we don't see it as a good thing, but I don't want to say it could have been worse. But it was the best. I don't know if I understand it, and that's where I'm coming into difficulty. If it was the path of least resistance, it was the best option for the most people. So they didn't, it's not like they can control it as much as we think they can. In the game, we control it through the cord. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out like how do you want me to it's like maybe that's the download that I just got that I can't put into words, where it was just, they're just saying it's the path of least resistance. Like they keep saying, okay, so my son, he got beat up. And because he got beat up, that's not what I wanted. He didn't come home. I freaked out. I ran to school. He got beat up. And then I was just like, oh, that was silly. That was, no, I didn't want that to happen. But it solved the energy crisis that was created by us. It
did it help you to release the fear of that experience happening again?
I knew at that moment that since I created that, then I knew to stop creating it. And because I stopped creating it, then I started to focus on, and they're pointing to you. I started to focus on what I wanted. Thank you, God, for keeping me and my kids safe and protected, versus, oh my gosh, they're not going to come home. Right. I started to focus on what I wanted. And so I was able to use in the path of least resistance, or path of, I can't even say the words now, but I was able to find a benefit from it and to focus on what I wanted and not what I didn't want. And so it was a lot better than it could have been. So
that experience shifted you into the right direction, even though it was a difficult experience.
Yes. And I think that's why they keep showing me like this just to say it. And that's why I couldn't find the words. So if we look at now, there's a lot of negativity, and there's a lot of manipulation, negativity. I'm just going to start speaking more freely and instead of trying to worry about my words. But there's a lot of manipulation and a lot of negativity in our environment in the game. And a lot of people got to the point where they were expecting the worst. Look at the news, see what's going to happen. It's not happening. Go outside. It's not happening. It's not happening to you, but you think it's happening to you because it's the only thing you can, like, you're putting yourself into. And some people were consumed by that and some people were not. And that expectation was forming an expectation in reality that needed to be solved. And because it needed to be solved, it opened up a gateway to allow something to come in to fulfill their expectation. And when it fulfilled their expectation, then it was able to heal it. I don't want that. I didn't want that. Well, that was better than what it could have happened. So even though people who did pass on didn't pass on without I won't say permission. They pass on with permission.
As an agreement, they made that agreement to experience that.
Yeah. So in the game, nothing happened to them, but they chose to be a part of that game Yeah. So my ego said if they were aware of it or not, but I didn't know who was aware of what or not. So
Right.
I wanted to say that's why I stopped talking because
The higher aspect was aware of
yeah.
that. Yeah.
So the higher aspect of it was aware of it. So they played that part of the game, and then others were able to stand up. And the more they stood up, the more they stood up, the more they stood up, and it raised and raised and raised. And so with the light coming in, the light coming from the ground, expanding everybody, bringing up the density, it was like the path of least resistance. Now they're saying I haven't answered the vaccination part of this. So and now I want them to take over. Now they're already taking over, but I want to double check.
Just allow that. Just allow that to come on through. You just
Like,
lend them your voice.
I want your words on this because they know
Yes.
my stance on this. But they're saying it's not as serious as we're making out to be.
Okay.
It's like, but they're watching the game. Like so that's why they were showing me the controller, the person. So even though your character was experiencing something, the person holding the controller is not. We only let ourselves experience it as much as we choose to in the game, but you don't have to experience it and you don't have to feel it or be affected by it in the game. So as the person holding the controller, they can make you run right through a wall. They're not going to do anything that's like that, they say. But, what I mean? But as the person in the game, you literally could just bump into the wall and get up and keep moving. You don't have to make it more than you just bumped into the wall.
It's your choice where to take it. You can really throw yourself into what's going on, or you can just observe it.
Yeah.
And be an observer.
So with the vaccination part of it, it's just how much do you want to play the game?
So we're seeing a divide between those who feel like they absolutely have to have that to be safe and healthy. And then there are others of us who feel very differently. What do they have to say about that? What is the purpose of that divide?
So the divide's not as much as you think it is. They're saying that. They're saying also they want you to think there's a divide. But if you go outside and talk, so like they're showing me things like there's like we showed Heather this, we showed like Heather knows this, we've given her examples of this. So like if you go to your neighbor and they say, oh, I'm getting the vaccination, and then you say, I just said, well, maybe we don't want to say those words, but they said, don't fear those words. So that's why I said the whole word, and I thought that was so strange. So, but they say, if you say, like they say, I'm going to get this, and you say, okay, great, well, I'm not going to get that. And they say, okay, well, and then you basically carry on and move on, and you are friends, and you can carry on. So you don't have to make it more than what it is, because when you interact with people and they say they're going to get it and you say you're not, that level of respect is there, and you just carry on. You don't, there's no divide. There's no, you don't need to convince each other of its perspective. So they're showing me that happened in real life to me, where she said, oh, we're getting the vaccination. And I said, well, I'm not. And they said, or she said, well, we're happy to, or something. I can't remember. And I said, okay. And then we carried on, so there was no divide. And they showed me that to let us know that there's no divide. So now there's something else they showed me. I don't know if they still want me to see it, because I kind of went into that story a little longer. The other thing, what was the other thing you were trying to show me? You were showing me something, and now I can't see it. About the vaccination, about maybe it's not relevant anymore, but we don't. Oh, it's right there. They're like, it's right here. Like, okay, let's show me it. So another scenario, and all these things are being shown to you, they're saying, in your life. So all you have to do is look for them. So the people who are happy to get this the thing, they they're not affected by it as much as people who are worried to get it. So that was something they were showing me. And like in your own examples, you'll find these things that are showing you what to believe. You have opportunities to believe these things. So you can basically see them and go, oh, okay, or not. And everything is there for you to choose. It's like the game is already programmed and you can experience it how you choose to while you're in the game. So yeah.
Beautiful. I think that's perfect. I think we get so caught up in, hearing something and feeding into that information and then running with it and spreading it. And what I'm getting is just to have a neutral perspective on what's happening and allow each person to make their choices and hold space and respect for them. And we could get ourselves out of this a lot faster if we didn't stay stuck in the fear and the worry and trying to control our situation to be in a certain way. Just allow it to unfold and allow others to have theirs unfold in that way as well.
Yeah, because and they're showing me pictures of stuff, and that's when Alfred came back in, and that goop that was holding his ship. They're showing me that, like, it's just they're creating this, and I say they as in like just say the people who are creating this. They are creating this to hold the ship in place. And it's funny how my brain, side note, like my brain plants things along the way, and then at the end goes, oh, that's why you showed me.
Right.
Like, why was I speaking about Alfred, but now I'm speaking about Alfred. So he's in a ship, and his ship was held by this black goo, and it was the fear and the control and what they wanted to stay. So I had to work that out so he could be free. And so that's the same thing, is they're trying to survive, and they're trying to create this black goo to hold you.
To hold us all down.
Hold us down. And then if we just let it go, like they go. They poof, gone. They're no longer there. And so this what they're doing, and they're more aware of the game than you are, is what they're telling me. So they know what they're doing, and they're trying to do it. But they're saying they know that they've lost, but they're trying to stay alive as long as they can. They're trying to stay you stuck as long as you can. They're trying to say it's done. It's just like, I feel like last time, I said, we can do it the easy way or the hard way. And I'm like, easy? But easy doesn't mean no work. It doesn't mean it's like, it just means it's going to go faster. So it's going to be work, but it's going to go faster, or better, I should say, than if we just did nothing. So if we did nothing and we were stuck in this goop, we're still going to come over here. It's just going to take a lot longer, and it's going to be harder. But if we do it easy, like use our skills and our abilities to take that off, that release it, go, release it, release this, take the ship out, boom, you're there. Yeah. So, and so it's not about no work, it's do the work. They're telling me, do the work. It's just, it's going to be a lot easier than we think.
Okay.
If we let go. If we let the divide go, let the goo go, let it go, then we will just go poof right over. And they're saying we're on the path. Where I would say we're winning, but
we have a little bit to go yet.
And I think because they see us over here, they're showing me we're here. Over here and where we want to be, we're already there. So remember how the download came where we had to live out the actions?
Let it play out.
We have to let it play out. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
It just like it went to like a void or something.
Okay.
So we're over here already over here. We're already there, and they see us over here, but we have to play it out. And the best way to do that is to make the path not as long. So like to them, it's like a step, 2 steps. To us, it's like taking forever. But they're saying the reason why they want me to say this, oh my God, I want to start channeling. So the reason why they want me to say this is because you had said it's going to take a long time. So tying back to expectations of my son, it's not that you're creating a long time, but your path of least resistance is choosing a long time.
Oh.
So they're saying to go. It's a step. Take it. Because if you take the step, you will be surprised how everything just starts shifting around you and just starts falling away. And that's when they're showing me the game where I stood up and those beings went away. The mouse, they went away. Like the little creature thingies, they went away. So you just, when you stand up in your vibration, everything else goes away. So they're like tying it all back together right now in a little bow. And I'm asking them, is there anything else we need to tie together? Are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay.
Yes.
So I was like, okay. So yeah, so I'm asking for all the ties together because you're giving me all these things like you're tying them together, and I'm like, okay, I see that. So like, but yeah, so they're not saying you, like they're Heather. They're saying, you know, Heather's worried that I would offend somebody. They're not saying you, but they're saying you, we, us, and our expectations are being told it's going to take a long time, and therefore we're expecting that. To not expect that, to not let that happen. It's not you doing it. It's just stand up.
Okay.
Choose, stand up, choose, stand up, choose, stand up, and you'll see that it'll go poof.
We just need to believe that this is easy and we're there and we've played it out and stay in that energy.
Yeah, because they're saying they want you to believe it's going to take a long time. They want you to believe your stuff. They want you to believe.
Those who are holding us down. Yes.
And that's the information. And if so
we're giving them our power.
Yes. So check with your heart and feel. They're saying check with your heart. Like it felt like Neil was like, check with your heart. But they're saying, no, it's right, Heather. Check with your heart and know that that you are there. You're already there, but you just have to play out the games and go through the games of the room to get there. But if you look down from above, you'll see that it's one room over, and you don't have to go through all the other rooms. You can go through a couple of them, but you don't have to unless you want to. So, but you're already there. The rooms are connected, and you can go there if you choose. And a lot of people are already choosing.
Very good.
A lot of people. Oof. Okay. That was a good sense of energy coming through. Okay.
So is there anything else that they want us to know about this before we move on to your questions? Anything else I want to share with you?
They're just showing me the room. That's it. They're just showing. They're showing you the room that you want to be in. Okay. And they're just it's more reaffirming that to see the room, to choose the room that you want to be in this game.
Very good. Thank you so much. We appreciate the guides and the aspects of self that stepped forward today. We just ask you to retreat back to your time, space, and dimension, and we send you so much love. And so now we'll go ahead and ask the higher self to come forward. We'll ask some of your questions. Is the higher self ready?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So we've talked today a lot about Heather's healing abilities and the work that she's doing here at this time. And she is currently working on a healing course. Is this a part of her path, and what does she need to know about this?
With the healing, um, the healing course is good. It's only a step, not the destination. So it's going to lead her into the direction that she needs to go. But it's good. But there is good. It's not to expect, not to get discouraged or expect things. What's the word you want me to use? They're wanting to give me a lot of visuals, and I'm trying to find words, and then trying to find words, I feel like I'm controlling the conversation more than I want them to. But they're giving me the visuals, or giving me and then they're telling me, but they're like, it's kind of like you bake a cake and you get all the ingredients out, and then you try to sell it before you bake it. So they're saying this is good, but it's part of the process. Don't try to taste the cake before it's done, is what they're saying.
Okay, so this is just helping you move into your life's purpose or your mission here. And so, what is her mission in this life? What did she come to do?
Okay, are you sure they're my words? Because the first thing that came to me was to be a badass.
I like that. And in what way? Because that could go different directions. So
I know, but and what I'm seeing is in your full glory. Your full glory, to be your fullness. So what I'm getting in a feeling sense is we are complete, and in our evolution of completeness, we're going to grow and become this. We are this, but we are becoming this at the same time. We are this. So our mission, I don't know why I use the word mission, but like growing, but like we're here. We're here. We are experiencing who we are, and that's what we're doing. And so, like that's like my word, like be a badass, but like it's showing us our true glory, who we are in this world, in this game, in this reality. So that's what I'm doing is I'm doing that.
We're moving away from believing that we're just a simple, ordinary human, and starting to understand that we have all of this amazing energy and these amazing abilities, and we're all tapping back into that.
More than you know.
Yes. Very good. Very good. So Heather and I feel like we have a very strong connection. Can you tell us what our connection is?
Yes. Okay. I'm trying to like reach way up there to make sure I'm tapped in. Yes. Because I want to say yes, like yes.
Right.
And we are connected. We are helping each other. The way they're showing me is path of least resistance again. So we all have desires to create our life path, our life purpose, and we are helping each other do that. So, and I just got all these chills. So then so in doing that and helping each other, we help ourselves.
Right.
So, and I'm asking their past lives, and I'm seeing like planetary stuff, like outside Earth. I'm seeing like a planet, and I'm seeing like purplish blue, and almost bird-like. So I'm not sure how that plays in, if that's like are you there or are we there, or like, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I am seeing off planet, other outside Earth.
Do you get a name or anything we can reference to that planet or star system?
So I see purple and blue feathers. What would be a name? I always get nervous on names
That's okay
because
if it doesn't come through.
yeah, like I because I've tried so many times
Mm-hmm.
on different things, like everything's a T, and I'm like, everything can't be a T. So yeah, but I'm seeing a P. Not Polynesian, poly, something, poly, but not poly. It's like on the tip of my tongue, but I feel like it's a P, but I don't. I'm looking for like something I've heard,
Mm-hmm.
something that might resonate with that, but it's not Apollo. They're saying I've heard the word before, but I don't understand the word.
I almost feel like I have as well, and I'm not pulling it either.
Yeah. So that's what that is.
Okay.
They're saying. Yeah.
But we were bird-like beings. Nice.
Yeah, purple and blue, and very, very gorgeous.
Two of my most favorite colors, so I'll take that. Very good. So she's wanting to know how to access the Akashic records, and we talked a little bit before the session about a book and a pathway prayer, but I almost feel like she is connecting in with the Akashic records without having that pathway into it. Can you tell her about that? Do you need something like the pathway prayer, or can we just access the Akashic records at will?
You can access them at will.
Mm-hmm.
It's with intention, and then just trust and explore growth. They're saying these things, so yeah, yes, she can do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Now my dogs are barking.
That's
so
okay. We're just gonna. That's okay. We're just gonna move through that.
So I do want to feel like they're saying, like, I'm saying something else to say with that. That they want to tell me. So it's not as hard as I'm making it out to be, to trust. But I might, and that's part of the experience, is to expand my knowledge more so that I can trust what I'm hearing. If I had recognized the word, I would have been more confident in saying the word. So with the Akashic Records, you're going to hear a lot of things that aren't very familiar to you in this life, and you can trust it, but feel a way to build that for the Akashic Record, so that way you can trust it and trust the information you're getting. And if that is to learn not to follow what others are saying, because not everything is as true for you as might be presented, but if you expand your awareness and information and trust in what you're receiving, just learning more about it might help you expand more in it. Okay. That's what I'm kind of getting.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like,
trust is definitely the hardest part of accessing the records, what's coming through.
Yeah. And just being like, if they say a word, and just and letting your brain hear that word and repeat that word, where they just showed me I couldn't do that because I didn't understand the word. And that's where I would need to learn, not the getting in, but the actual information that I receive.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Thank you. So we both are using tuning forks in session work. And can you tell us a little bit more about how the tuning forks assist in the process of healing?
Sound heals. So Heather wants to know, like, but if she can use colors and heal, then why does she have to manifest the colors or the sound.
Mm-hmm.
And the sound is just easier. So to do the tuning forks, it's easier because it's manifested in the 3D versus trying to create a fire with your visualization. Just light a match. And yeah. Did that answer that? Because I feel like...
So because both of us work with color and we work with energy, and that is more of a fifth dimensional way of healing, as opposed to a tuning fork is a third dimensional. It's something that we can hear and we know that we're receiving those frequencies and vibrations, as opposed to having to use your visualization to work with those color frequencies within the body. Is that sort of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's more tangible.
More tangible. And it's already, because we're in the game. So
the tuning forks are in the game as well.
They're already in the game.
Okay.
And the others, everything is good. But that's just as good with the tuning forks. Like they're answering a question for me that not everything has to be glamorous. Everything has to be showboat. So if it works, it works. Like if you light the match, you're still going to need fire in 5D. Not like the same way, or they're saying that's your next question. I don't know if it is your next question.
Go ahead.
Oh, that's funny. So yes, I want to know too. So my higher self, show me 5D, like what? So, in 5D, they're showing me the butterfly effect. So if I radiate love, everything is love. So you have to be at a higher vibration, because that is the vibration you have to be at to be in 5D. So they're showing me that. So like when you're all connected, so all of our cords, she's like that. So Heather sees lines, but they're all connected to everybody else. So all of these lines are like, so like hold on. So with 5D, I feel like I was going to go off track. So with 5D, go back up. Show me again, because I went into a different room, I should say. So with 5D, we're all connected and we're all more in tune. So they're showing me a tree. Then they're funny. They said, yes, there's a tree. So, and I said, why a tree? Like, you have to use tree. They're like, yes, you have to use the word tree. But the tree is connected to you. So you are connected as a oneness with the tree, and that oneness they're connected to you. So with, let's say, the fire, you're going to have more intention. So like if you went to light the stick, the match, then that match is going to have fire, but that's going to affect everything else. So you're going to have all of these abilities in 5D that you never knew you had. And that means, yes, you, and they're saying you and you and you, they're saying all of you are having all of these abilities that you don't know you have. So with the 5D, they're showing me that, yes, they're showing me, they're showing me we're in trees, but we're in trees because we love the trees. We're in the trees, we're in the mountains, we're in the water, we're in nature. Earth wants to give to us, and they're saying the houses won't go away.
Okay.
They're just going to be different. So like if you want to put a hammock in a tree, and you want to sleep in the tree, you can sleep in the tree, because you're not going to be afraid of
something getting us.
Yes, because the house is our protection, our locks, our windows, or we're isolating ourselves from what's around us to protect
that makes
us.
sense. Yeah.
So now that we're like, if we want to go put a tent in our backyard, we'll go put a tent in our backyard.
Mm-hmm.
That's the example they're showing us. Because like, why don't you put a tent in your backyard? Because the people, the snakes, and they're showing me all these reasons why we've allowed ourselves to be programmed, they're saying, of the fear. So we don't do those things. But yes, they're showing me trees. They're showing me mountains. They're showing me water. They're showing me that we are, in full circle again, we are created from earth. And so in our connection with earth, our feet are going to be on the ground. Our hands are going to be on the trees and the dirt. We're going to come back to earth, but in a loving way. And that connection is going to be there. So they are showing me they're saying it's not primitive at all, because they're saying, Heather, you know this, where things that might look primitive might be more advanced. And that people who aren't aware, who think that they're more advanced, are thinking they're overpowering people who look primitive, but the more advanced people could be they could be the primitive people that we're saying are primitive, and they're not primitive. They're more advanced in their ways.
That makes sense. And for anybody who happens to listen to this, we spoke before the session about a session that I just had recently where a client said we will be, on the new earth, living in the trees. And my response was, I don't know if I want to move from a house into the trees, but that makes sense. It will be a choice, but it won't just be everybody living in trees. It's your choice of where you want to experience more connection with nature and with the earth.
Yeah, it won't seem so odd.
That makes perfect sense. And I didn't even have to ask that question. So thank you to the guys for bringing that through. Very good. Well, I'm looking forward to that. And again, my mind wants to go to, well, that seems so far away or so far off. But as we've learned today, we need to just believe that it is just a step away to where we can experience that sort of living and being.
Yeah, people are there.
Yeah. Okay, very good. So she is feeling a little bit conflicted about keeping her current business or possibly getting an outside job, and that taking away from her healing abilities, not being able to put as much attention there. What can you tell her about that?
Her fear is creating an expectation. Her worry is creating that. She's responding to outside influence. It was kind of like that was the one way they could influence her, and she sees that now. And the business is good. It's been running almost by itself, so she's been thankful for that. But there was a hiccup created by the density, the fear that's been pumped into it, and she grabbed onto that, and that decline that she saw physically, that was what created more fear. And she gets a choice that she can keep the business or go outside the business, but I'm seeing that yes, it's her choice. It's and she's thankful. It's funny. Yeah. So yeah, all I can say is yeah, because I'm like going in between. I was going back and forth between them saying it and me saying it. And I didn't know who was saying it what one time, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's me now. But yeah, so I am thankful that I have the business. And now they're saying that she's thankful. So did we not talk at one time?
One at a time. So she wants to break out of some of these financial struggles that she feels like she's dealt with through her life. What does she need to do, or what needs to be healed in order for her to step into true abundance?
So what she needs to do is not be attached. It's only temporary. And let it go. And let it it's a lesson, because if she lets it go, it has no control over her. And if no matter what happens, it's okay. So that's a lesson that she's learning, because even though I am going to step in, me as an I, because I feel like I want to step in, but they've been, but no, it's they, so going back, so yes, it's fine. So I think that's part of this interaction that I'm having with myself is part of my growth. So I am okay no matter what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay. They are a manifestation of a past that's no longer a part of my now.
Mm-hmm.
And it just has to play out, and not to be attached to it is what they're telling me. And that inner knowing, the inner truth, and that standing up, and that's all. It's more of a feeling now that I'm getting, a sense of sovereignty.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything that needs to be released? Any connections that she's holding to any past experiences that can be cut today? Any cords, connections?
Trying to see from above. Can I just ask for you to do it? There's like these things, like blue strings that are like, if I look above me, there's these they're like blue ropes.
Okay.
That are just kind of around me.
Okay.
And I don't know what it means or what it, so I'm trying to like tap in above.
Right.
For that answer. This time they showed me a picture, and there's just like this bubble around me and these blue strings. So I don't know what that means and why they're showing me that. So that's why I say, can you just heal it? Because since I don't know what to do with what they just showed me. I'm just going to ask for that, and I don't know what. So
are they able to cut and release those ropes from you today? Is that something that's just holding you down?
They're not. Yeah, they're not even attached to anything.
Okay.
It's like if I dive. So like I think the vision's changing in front of me. So like, and I'm only remembering what I'm seeing in the moment. So they want me to say that. So the bubble is getting bigger and bigger. So I can't see it not bigger. And then the ropes are there. So I think what they did was they just took the bubble and pushed these ropes away from me. And so now and they're just falling off. So they're healing it. Okay. So now that makes more sense. So they're just falling to the ground.
Very good. I'd just like to allow the energy of abundance to flow in through the body and just permeate every cell. What color would that be to you?
Blue. Royal blue.
Very good. So just allowing that beautiful blue energy to come in through the crown, moving it all the way through your body into every cell, moving it through each chakra, making sure all of your chakras are balanced and aligned, into the third eye and the throat, and down to the heart. Bringing that energy down through the solar plexus, sacral, and root. And then expanding that energy out throughout the cells, the bones, the blood, throughout the organs. And then pushing that and expanding it out around you into your auric field. And just allowing that energy of abundance to flow so that you can attract more of it into your life and align with the things that are going to bring you more financial stability and success. And just let me know when that's complete.
Yeah, it's done.
Okay. She said she's experiencing some financial struggles with an attorney experience that's in her life. What does she need to know about that?
I'm asking for them to speak instead of telling me to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I have a very joyful higher self.
Nice.
That's why I was like a laugh or something. It was like,
Very good.
yeah, like, and I'm trying to tap into it, and it's like they keep saying it's not as serious as you want it to be. It's part of the game, and that's what they keep telling me. And I want more because I can say that all the time, but it's like, but if you let if part of the winning the game is not letting things bother you, then you are going to attract things that bother you until you no longer let them bother you. So that's what and I'm trying to figure out how, like, so I guess it's just because it's bothering me. The bothering me is letting it repeat itself into my life. So yeah.
Okay. So do you feel like you have what you need to be able to shift the energy of that situation?
And I'm going to ask for them to give me the colors needed to clear.
Very good. Yes, absolutely.
To resolve this density, because it's manifesting in my reality as a reflection of my density and allowance, so energy flow. So that I'm asking for the colors. And I'm getting a blue and a citrus green to clear out some density, so that way this doesn't project further into my life. Because if I'm able to talk about it, they're saying like this, then it's fine, like it's done. And to breathe it through.
So just allowing that energy to move all throughout your physical and your energetic body. And so as you shift your thoughts and any fears that you're holding around this experience, you mentioned you feel like a possible bankruptcy is in your future. So if you can release the fear of this situation, will that shift that experience from manifesting in your reality? What do they have to say about that?
Great question. I'm getting the sense that the bankruptcy, just as the energy was so there, that the bankruptcy is the path of least resistance. And it's only energy. It's only just completion. Just let it go. Don't worry about it. It's not who you are. It's not a reflection of who you are. But they're saying that there's a possibility it may not still happen, but not to be, that it's okay if it does. Just to let it happen, not to push against it, and that if I didn't procrastinate, they're saying that, like, they're trying to make sure that I don't beat myself up on that word, because it's not my fault, but so they stopped me. So they're saying that not just if I respond to my knowingness when it happens, then it'll be easier to work through things than to let them sit.
Mm-hmm.
So that if I feel comfortable with doing the bankruptcy now, to do the bankruptcy now.
Mm-hmm.
If it feels okay to do the bankruptcy now, to like use my guidance to do it, not to let social pressures say, oh, that's bad.
Mm-hmm.
That, like there's so many different things that happen to create a bankruptcy that I didn't directly influence.
Mm-hmm.
So not to take on the pressures of the world and make it your fault. But if energy needs to be dispelled, let it be dispelled.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good.
Yeah, they're just saying, don't take it personal. I was like, okay. I'm like, okay.
We'll ask them to continue to remind you that when you're feeling a little stressed out, because that can be hard to do as a human in these bodies.
Yeah, especially that it feels like a failure,
Right. Right.
And
but it's just an experience.
Yeah, it's
and you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Can we do a final scan through the body and just see if there's anything that needs to be healed today, any blocks that need to be released?
Throat.
Okay, let's take a look at the throat. What's being held there?
Holding back to some density in the throat, so it's like it feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
So
can we release that density today, or do we need to take a deeper look at that?
I want to say yes, we can release it.
Okay. And what colors would you like to bring into that area as the guides and the higher self work on releasing that energy?
Yellow.
Okay.
And citrus green.
Beautiful. Just allowing the guides to begin to pull out that energy, releasing anything that's holding you back, pulling it out. And then we're going to bring in that beautiful yellow and citrus green and swirl around that chakra, expanding that energy out, allowing it to flow into the cells, and pushing that density all the way out of the body. And let me know when that feels complete.
Yeah.
Anything else that you feel within the body?
In my belly.
Let's take a look there. What do you feel?
There's just a cloud in front of my belly.
Okay.
And I'm trying to see about it, and I'm just trying to put peach in it. So
perfect.
Yeah, I'm just trying to break up this little density in front of my belly.
Okay.
So I'm putting peach into my belly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's good.
Okay. Very good. And anywhere else that we need to look at today?
She's basically not wanting to be a bother. And I'm sure that's important. When I come in and say it's important because my legs, and then I'm having these issues with my legs, but it seems to be continuous.
What is that? What is that energy?
So it's a moving forward and not procrastinating, and so they're hitting hard today.
So Can we move that energy? Because that is one of the things she feels a little bit like she's been unmotivated for quite a while. And is that energy holding her back from stepping into who she's truly meant to be?
So yeah, so no, we can heal it.
Okay.
And yeah, we can definitely release this from her. She doesn't need it. Not at all.
Very good. And anything that's being held within the body, can we begin to just eliminate all of that low frequency energy?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
She's using magenta.
Beautiful. Just really expanding that beautiful high frequency color out all throughout the legs, and just allowing any of that energy to drain down into Gaia, into Sophia, allowing it to be transmuted into love and light. And just let me know when that's complete.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. How is it looking on the inside? Any other densities that need to be removed?
Looks good.
Okay. And the aura, is it nice and strong, or do we need to bring any energy out into the auric field?
She's feeling not, she's wanting to apologize for some reason. So that's something that's in her aura. So there's something that's being cleared for
Okay.
her and stuff. So
Just to apologize in general?
just like, yeah, like, so to experience it, to release it, release it to experience it.
Okay.
And so these are things that, like, she doesn't want to be a bother. She's trying to apologize. Okay, so there's a picture of sadness that's going to come up real quick.
Okay. Very good. Allow that energy just to come up and release completely from the body.
Yeah. And so, and then she's wanting to take doesn't want to be a bother, and she doesn't want to like give other people her problems. So she's wanting to like do it herself. And so she's taking like a vacuum to take out some things on her left side.
Very good.
And then clearing that. So yeah, that's done.
Okay, good. So she doesn't have to worry about being a bother to anyone, does she? She does so much for other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to bring more of that energy in.
Yeah.
Are there any final messages, or are we complete today?
We're complete.
Okay.
We are complete.
Very good. Just want to thank all of the guides that stepped forward today to assist us on this beautiful journey. We send you so much love and light.